Guess what? Budweiser can't win.
What?
Budweiser cannot win. So they were the one who put Dylan Mulvaney, the trans person lady, on their, and then they lost all that business because it was insulting to their core consumers. And now they feel the LGBT community has now taken away their seal of approval because they feel like Budweiser hasn't stood up enough for Dylan Mulvaney. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. I mean, Bud Light, anyway, companies that receive 100, companies that receive 100 score on the index's 4 criteria, protections from workplace discrimination, inclusive benefits, inclusive culture inside and outside the workplace, and responsible citizens. Those are the 4 things they use to score a corporation for the LGBTQ grade, right? And then they can receive a thing called Best Places to Work for LGBTQ plus equality, seal of approval from a thing called the Human Rights Campaign, HRC. And so they give you, so it's out of 100. If you receive 100 score, then you will receive a Best Places to Work for LGBTQ and equality seal of approval from the Human Rights Okay. As sales slumped, Anheuser-Busch put 2 of its executives on leave and issued a statement from its CEO, Brendan Whitworth. We never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over beer. That pissed off the LGBTQ community. That did it. Whitworth's statement prompted a backlash from the LGBTQ community and its allies. Eric Blowham, he's... I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. We'll call him Eric Bloom. How about that? Eric Bloom, HRC Senior Director, Programs and Corporate Advocacy, he said Anheuser-Busch was backtracking on support for the LGBTQ. In the face of anti-trans and hate-filled rhetoric, it sends the message to employees, shareholders, and customers that it does not stand up for the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that's the DEI. You always hear that. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah. Anheuser-Busch had a key moment to really stand up and demonstrate the importance of their values of diversity, equity, inclusion, and their response really fell short, Blowham says.
How much money did they lose?
So get this. So in a May 9th letter shared exclusively with the USA Today, the Human Rights Campaign informed Bud Light maker that it has suspended its Corporate Equity Index score, a tool that scores companies on their policies for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer employees. The nation's largest LGBTQ advocacy group is taking action against Anheuser-Busch over its handling of the conservative backlash to transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, accusing the multinational beer company of caving to political pressure. So this company that goes out of its way and takes it a kick in the balls as hard as you can take it over Dylan Mulvaney and standing up for the trans community, it wasn't enough. They lost billions of dollars. Not enough. The human rights, that is, again, these people claim to speak for the LGBTQ community. I don't think they speak for the majority of them.
I don't. And also, I take issue with USA Today saying it's a conservative. Well, that was a conservative backlash. I don't know if it's necessarily conservative.
No, there definitely was a conservative backlash, but there was a backlash.
Right.
I don't know if it was conservative exclusively. Yeah. So I would take, I would quibble with their use of the term just conservative backlash. This is not the first time that the Human Rights Campaign has suspended a company's corporate equity index score. The first time was Netflix over Dave Chappelle. in 2021. So again, I said this before, I'll say it again. If you have a problem with what Bud Light, I mean, so now it's like, so what do you think, Steph, about this?
About for me, it's like, first off, why did Bud Light insinuate themselves in this situation anyways in the first place?
Well, they were trying to sell more beer, and their marketing lady thought that they were going to sell more beer, that she would expand their base, but she did it in the dumbest way possible because it alienated their core consumers, and so now they lost money. So that's why I think she thought she was going to expand their sales. Didn't happen. Didn't work.
And she wanted
because
to expand
she lives in a bubble,
and she was dividing.
And she was
their consumer as well.
Yes, because she insulted their consumers and said that they were fratty and out of touch humor. It's like, why are you? And now you anyway. And so putting a trans person on a Bud Light is like putting a MAGA sticker on a Planned Parenthood. I mean, you could understand it's cultural, and they have cultural meaning. And so the way the trans community, the reason why the gay LGBT or the LGB community went from being marginalized second-class citizens to becoming first-class citizens with all rights and privileges, the quicker than any marginalized group in America, was because they knew how to do political outreach. And what the trans community is doing now, again, it's not all the trans, it's just a handful of outspoken trans people. What they're doing, I think, is that they're creating a backlash against them. They have the opposite of political outreach. If you have a problem, if you don't think someone thinks Dylan Mulvaney's a woman, the reason that the way you change their mind isn't by calling them names and trying to get them canceled. I try to point out to people that Joe Biden and Barack Obama were against gay marriage up until like 5 minutes ago politically. And the way you got them around to your point of view wasn't by canceling their speeches. So the way you do that is you engage. I told this story before about when I was going to speak at the anti-war rally, and there was a lot of people who didn't want to participate because there were some speakers at the anti-war rally that had some anti-LGBTQ views. That's what some people felt. And I talked to a gay black guy who said, yeah, the way you deal with that is you show up to the rally, you engage with those people, so then they see that you're not the caricature that they think you are in their head, and that's how you break down those barriers. And you get people around to your way of thinking. It's not by canceling people, bullying people, making people afraid to even talk about things. Because most people are afraid to talk about it because they're going to get in trouble. Like this guy here. This guy here who said, "Hey, we're just trying to, expand our brand. We don't want to divide people. We want to bring people together." That was bad. So now people are now afraid to say anything. That's a bad environment that the activists are creating. And if you'd want to move the ball forward for the trans community, the way to do it is not by threatening violence, not by threatening to cancel or trying to get people canceled. That's the opposite. You're going to create backlash and resentment, which you've already done. You're setting back the LGBTQ community. That's what I think. And because I'm on a podcast, I know I'm right. And there it is. Just take them. Okay, that's not real. But that would be funny. So that's what I Budweiser, that's the company you're going to go after now because they didn't do enough. They lost billions of dollars trying to normalize Dylan Mulvaney and promote Dylan Mulvaney, and that's the thanks they get for it. So no good deed goes unpunished. They get kicked right in the goddamn teeth by the people. Check out my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny, at jimmydore.com. Only $10. Become a premium member. We're going to be on tour in Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Los Angeles, Bakersfield, California, Baltimore, Maryland, and San Francisco, California. Plus, do we say Chicago? There's lots of stuff. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. See you there.